final game of the regular season is the conference game of the year. The Riddle and Riddle High School Hoops, presented by the University of North Carolina, featuring first place and undefeated South Garner as they host second place and once beaten Southeast Raleigh. It's for the conference title. We welcome you to our final regular season contest. Patrick Kiedis and Jay Salthalter. What an amazing atmosphere there will be for high school basketball tonight. JV game just ended, women's game about to tip off, men's varsity game to follow. This is an atmosphere unlike something that we're unaccustomed to seeing, and there's so much on the line tonight, Jay.
Yeah, I mean, this is the perfect way to end the regular season. It's gone by so fast, but we have two of the best teams in the state and two teams vying for the conference title here, the regular season tonight, and this is their second matchup of the year. Wouldn't be surprised if they play next week in the conference tournament, again in the playoffs, but these are two outstanding programs, great coaches and star players.
Yeah, it's a young South Garner school. School will open up over the last 5 or 6 years. Meanwhile, the gold standard of triangle women's basketball, Southeast Raleigh. It's going to be a great one tonight. Let's get to some of the players you're focusing on tonight, Jay.
Yeah, there's a lot of recruits in this ball game, and let's start off with Southeast Raleigh. Isaiah Trent has been great throughout this season, and she's a wing forward, junior 5'9", one of the leaders, and she does a great job getting to the hoop, finishing, slashing, doing all the little things for the Bulldogs. She is a great defender, and she can really impact the game on both sides of the floor. And then Dariah Harris, super sophomore. She's got NBA range from beyond the three-point line. She can fill it up, and when she gets hot and she gets going, she can change the course of a game. And as a sophomore, she already has Division I offers, and she's really been having a great season. And over on the other side for South Garner, they've got Mackenzie Dillard, the 5'5" freshman. She has been playing so well coming in. This is her first year in the program and already showing her ability to shoot the ball, take over a ball game. She's a great ball handler, and she's going to have to use those skills to get through the pressure that Southeast Raleigh is going to try to inflict on South Garner. But she's a really good up-and-coming player, and watch for her to be aggressive early on in this ball game. And then Elia Ballard, another freshman. I mean, these are two young rosters, and Ballard is one of the young stars that has been coming through this program. And what she's been able to do is provide that presence from the outside shooting. She can also hit the mid-range shot, and she's been playing really well. Her confidence is on a high right now, and look for her teammates to get her the ball, Patrick, in different spots, get her involved in this ball game, because she's got that outside shooting touch. You see her setting up there. Great bounce, great looking shot, and she's another one of these players. Only a freshman, but she does it on the defensive end as well.
All right, Jay, let's get to our keys. These teams met about a month ago. It was an 18-point win for South Garner. How did the Bulldogs turn things around?
Well, they've got to win on the boards tonight. They have to box out. They've got to be relentless on the glass and be physical. And then executing their offense will be important tonight, being consistent throughout. And then for South Garner, limiting their turnovers, making sure they protect the basketball, and then controlling the pace. They want to make sure they control this ball game and not let it get up and down the way the Bulldogs want to play.
All right, Southeast Raleigh has played for a state championship 6 of the last 12 years. South Garner, they are on the ascend. They are one of the top teams in the East region. They vie for the conference title, first place versus second place, final game of the regular season. Tip-off, Bulldogs, Titans, next.
This is your CW22 and my RDZ28 community calendar. The Brilliance of Resilience is the theme of this year's Future of Black History Month program on February 21st from 1 to 3 p.m. at Academy Pavilion at downtown Cary Park. This program is free and open to the public. For more information, visit downtowncary.park.com. The Durham Craft Market will take place on Saturday, February 21st from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. at Durham Central Park. Creations from local artisans, from jewelry to apparel and accessories and art, will be on display and for purchase. For more information, visit durhamcraftmarket.com. Please send your announcements at least 2 weeks in advance to email rkeith@sbgtv.com.
Let's jump right in.
10-4, start me another unit.
727.
74 in a 40 zone. We ain't gonna tolerate that.
Ride PD presents.
When you fight fires together, you become a family. In this family, everybody comes home.
Get down!
Sometimes in the middle of it all, things change. All we have is each other.
I don't know where I'd be without you.
When it matters most, we go in together, we come out together.
Chicago Fire.
On My RDC.
And welcome back live to the finale of the regular season on our high school hoops coverage. And we have one of the best women's game across the state. Southeast Raleigh and South Garner. Patrick Keenis and Jason Halter inside already an electrified gymnasium. And we have the unbeaten South Garner Titans in conference play, 11-0. And the Bulldogs of Southeast Raleigh, 10-1. And we know all about what Nicole Simpson has been able to do with his Bulldog program over the last, about 20 years.
Yeah, I mean, she does a great job and one of the best coaches in the state. And we have two of them with Ashley Fuller on the other side. But here, the starting lineup for the Bulldogs. This is a young team that's talented. It's had a special season.
One freshman in the starting lineup for the Bulldogs. That's Naomi Hill, number 4. Starting lineup presented by Riddle and Riddle when justice counts. And as Jay alluded to in the open, for South Garner, extremely young squad. Mackenzie Dillard is a freshman. Elia Ballard is a freshman. They're both averaging right around double figures, so they're getting high-quality minutes, and these young freshmen are the go-to players for this Titans team.
Yeah, I mean, when you have Moore, Ballard, Clark, Crawford, and Dillard, there's Ashley Fuller. She loves this team. They're so well connected. There's leadership. They're talented, and they've gained such great experience throughout this season. All the success that they've had this year, they've got their sights set for a big playoff run, and state championship is the goal for both teams.
Yeah, South Garner has won 11 straight games. Their last loss was back on December 27th to Cannon, one of the top teams on the west part of the state. Right now, Cannon ranked number 5 in the state. South Garner is ranked 13th currently. Meanwhile, the Bulldogs, well, they haven't dropped a game since their loss at home against South Garner. That came in the middle of January. They've ripped off 6 straight wins. So here we go. It's a 51-33 South Garner victory. The first and only time these teams met. This ends the regular season tonight. Conference tournament is next week. But as you mentioned, for Ashley Fuller, despite how young this team is, they are not inexperienced. This is a team that she believes could run the table.
Yeah, I mean, and for their team to be this young, and both sides are young, to be that talented and this good already, can you just imagine what they're going to look like in the next couple of years?
So the game now begins, and Chloe Crawford, number 5 for South Garner, tore an ACL in her right knee recently, and they start the game off on senior night here, allowing her to score, participate here in the special night here at the gymnasium. She is the only senior on this team, and now she will head off to the sideline. Meanwhile, Southeast Raleigh will get an opportunity to tie things up, and then we'll really get things rolling. No time left to clock.
And that's special for Chloe, and such a great player here in the program. Their defensive stopper, and just unfortunate with her injury, but a special gesture there for her to be able to score here on senior night.
And great to see that the great rivalry between the Bulldogs and the Titans, and the great sportsmanship as well. So there is the tying layup, and now off we go between the Titans and the Bulldogs. So Jay, what are you looking for, especially at the outset of this game, knowing that the Bulldogs got beat by 18 at home?
Well, the biggest thing that I'm looking for is how both teams handle the pressure in this atmosphere. There's so much on the line tonight. It's going to be about turnovers here early on, shot selection, but there's really 2 good defenses in this ballgame. How do you handle in the offenses, seeing how they attack? I think it's going to be important here, diagnosing this zone defense for the Titans.
And you'll see number 1 and number 13 for the Titans. Those are the 2 freshmen. This is Mackenzie Dillard. They played across the perimeter. Kamaya Barnes wearing number 2. And the other freshman is Ballard right now in the right wing. She will take the pass from the other freshman, fire a 3, and Right out of the blocks, the top three-point shooter on this team knocks down the first attempt of the game. A Nelson chiropractic three, working overtime to make a difference in our community. And a near steal, Dillard stripped but couldn't control.
In that half-court offense, when you're facing a zone defense, you want to try to drive, penetrate, break things up, and then kick it out if the defense collapses, and that's exactly what the freshman did there.
Another deflected pass. Dillard does get the steal this time. Clark off the baseline, but an offensive rebound for the Titans. And the first foul of the game will go against Southeast Raleigh. It will be a shooting foul charged against Dariah Harris.
And Harley Clark for South Garner does such a great job at the top of that diamond pressure. Only a sophomore, 6'3", getting her arms up, deflecting that pass, getting the turnover, and those turnovers result into scoring opportunities for South Garner. They've done it throughout the year, but she's really the leader there at the top of that defense.
Yet again, as you mentioned, sophomore, already 6'3". How big will she get before she heads off to college in a couple of years? This is an exceptionally talented young Titans squad. Free throw is missed by Barnes. So Barnes one more from the ready-to-roll free throw line. Ready to roll? Call Raleigh's Garage Door experts today. 5-2 early lead for the Titans. 17-6 overall. So they played a beast of a non-conference schedule, especially in the first month of the regular season. Early 4-point lead. Pressure forces another turnover. And credit right there, Clark, right at the top near midcourt. The long wingspan didn't give the angle for that cross-court pass to get through.
And she's really doing her job on the defensive end at that top of the pressure. And when she's creating havoc up there, allows the other guards on the side there to jump into the passing lanes.
Nicole Sampson trying to calm down her Bulldogs, showing zone again against South Garner. Ballard penetrating, tough shot, does get the roll. 5 early ones for Ballard.
She is dynamic and athletic, and the way she shot through there, just beating the defense and pulling up in the mid-range, is pretty special.
Forcing the tempo to speed up a little bit for the Bulldogs, and they turn it over for a third straight possession.
And for Southeast Raleigh, the key is to get through this pressure, make quick passes, do pass fakes, try to get the defense off bounce, but stay composed.
Couple minutes gone by, 8 points already on the board for South Garner. They have put up some lopsided scores over the last month and a half. Clark penetrates, kicks up top for Barnes, yes. But right now the Titans can't miss. And they have a 9-point lead, a little more than 2 minutes gone by. Undefeated South Garner trying to win an outright conference title tonight, up early on Southeast.
For 250 years, America has been built on bold ideas, strong communities, and stories that connect us all. From small towns to big cities, from back roads to bright lights, this is the story of who we are. In 2026, we celebrate 250 years of amazing America. And together, we honor the people, places, and possibilities that continue to shape our future. Stay with MyRDC 28 as we celebrate amazing America.
Once in every life, there comes a time we walk out all alone and into the light. The moment won't last, but then we remember it again when we close our eyes. Like stars across the sky, we were born to shine. All of us here because we believe.
Well, there's one of the best women's high school basketball coaches across the state of North Carolina, Nicole Sampson, who's won a couple of titles back in 1999 and shared the 2020 title. COVID canceled that championship contest, but 5 other times between 2014 and 2019 reached the state title game, lost those 5, including 3 in a row in 2017, 18, and 19. And right near the top of the table in their league yet again, a very talented roster, but this is not the kind of start that she wanted her team to show, particularly as breaking the press.
Well, and it was a good time out there just to bring the team over, get them to reset, regroup, and discuss how they want to attack this defense.
Ballard short with a 3 that time, and it's Southeast basketball.
And for Nicole Sampson, such a long track record of success on the floor, Patrick, but also off the floor too. And the way both of these coaches develop their players and care about them when they're not playing basketball, and really care about growing them as individuals.
Well, the double team on Trent almost led to another turnover, but the scrum sends the loose ball back to the Bulldogs, and Jada Rhodes delivers her first points of the game. 11-4 South Garner. You know, Southeast shows some pressure as well, but the Titans turn it over. Rhodes to steal. Plays it ahead. Wright Brown, the crossover, lost it, diving in the corner. And the Titans had it for a moment. A couple of more bodies on the floor, another one on the floor, and a jump ball is called. Grit and smiles from about all 10 players.
And I'll tell you what, with what's on the line here tonight, not surprised with the effort that both of these teams are playing with. They've done this throughout this season, but this game matters so much. There's bodies everywhere.
I mean, 5 went down at one point during that juncture. Possession keeps it with the Bulldogs. Hard spin into a double team. Tightly played to the baseline. Trent trying to get an angle. Oh, that's a terrific finish from Trent.
And Trent just drove through there very physically and got nudged a little bit, but didn't deter her off her path. It was a nice finish.
4 straight now by the Bulldogs, and they force another turnover. And we get a foul, though, on Southeast. It's going against Naomi Hill. She is surprised, to say the least, as is her coach.
And here's Hill just trying to make a play. There's a double team going for the ball, but
had the steal. Looked like they called her for the off arm.
Just that left arm. And it was pushed out there. That's where the foul was called with.
Unnecessary contact that gives the ball back to the Titans, up by 5. Tough pass through the fingertips of Ballard, saves right to the Bulldogs. They play it ahead, loose ball, chased down by Hill. Shot blocked away by Crawford, and it's out of bounds. It will stay with Southeast.
Khalees Crawford, the junior, coming through there, and swatting that away, and what a job there reading that ball. And we're talking with Ashley Fuller, getting her last coaching point before she heads out on defense.
Well, they have some young size on this Titans team. Crawford, a junior, 6'4". Clark, the sophomore, at 6'3". Clark is on the bench for the moment. 3-pointer is missed by Harris. And here come the Titans, up by 5 with 3:35 remaining in this opening quarter.
Southeast Raleigh's defense has really clamped down here the last couple possessions. They've created more turnovers, and that's what's enabled them to cut into this lead.
They're packing things down against Moore on the inside. Fronting her is not giving the Titans any opportunity to get that past the mid-post. Ballard works on Rhodes, into traffic, and a tie-up. Excellent help side defense by Trent, number 1. Got her hands on that one, coming over from the weak side.
And Trent just keeps her feet in front. That's also a nice job from Amaya Rhodes. Those two closing things off, making it difficult to drive through.
Ball stays with the Titans, up by 5. They play to the inside. There is Moore, flashing, nice move. Overshot on the lamp, but got it back, and we'll head to the free throw line. Good second effort by Taylor Moore, the 6'1" junior. Foul will go on the Bulldogs. It is the first on Rhodes.
And for Taylor Moore there, quick move on the baseline, follows her shot and gets the contact to get to the line, but she's just relentless down at that paint area.
Back at the ready to roll free throw line. Ready to roll. All Raleigh's garage door experts today. First free throw was booked by Moore. Averages nearly a double-double a game, 8.7 rebounds. One of two. Bulldogs looking more settled over the last couple of minutes since that timeout.
Yeah, they're handling the pressure better, and their defense is good, but boy, Taylor Moore being effective on offense, and they're on defense.
Out on the perimeter against the star player for the Bulldogs, blocking Trent, about 16 feet away from the rim. And around the perimeter, there's the open player in the corner, Darden. Overshoots a three, but there's the stick back on the inside. An emphatic delivery by Crawford.
And she's their energizer, and they're getting position inside and now on defense. Up at the top of the pressure there, wanted the steal, just didn't get the foul called, but she is active, and you've got to box her out.
And you can see how difficult this press is for the Titans when they have, Harley Clark at the top of that press. Then when Harley sits, it's Crawford now at the top again with that long wingspan. First foul on Crawford. Bulldog basketball. There's Trent. Good look to the inside, partially blocked. And then the Bulldogs lost the handle. Hill couldn't corral. It's an excellent look by Trent to the inside.
Mackenzie Dillard, number one, coming through. There's the pass inside, but coming from the backside, hustling over for the block and then just making it difficult. South Garner regains possession.
2 minutes left, first quarter. 14-6, South Garner. Ballard commands for the pass. Moore on the baseline. And Dillard will recycle. Dillard yet to score. Looks over the zone. Flashing high post, more good ball fake down the lane. Banks it a little too strong. And Southeast Raleigh with the rebound as we take a look at the points, the paint. Sponsored by the University of North Carolina. All 6 points for the Bulldogs in the paint so far.
And they've been able to drive through, and that's where they've been effective. And for South Garner early on, they're hitting their outside shots. And the Titans have more height inside, but they've been effective from the perimeter. We'll see how they continue to attack, especially with Southeast Raleigh clamping down Patrick in that zone defense. It's going to be tough for them to get through, but they're really going to be having open opportunities to shoot it from the outside.
The freshman Dillard charged with that last foul. Bulldog basketball, dangerous pass into the corner, barely keeping her balance. Saved though. To Madeline Pass, who delivers to the inside, opposite block, and there's Trent. She has 6 of the Bulldogs, 8 in the first quarter. And now they show some pressure.
When you have a made bucket, it really embodies that pressure. They can set it up and try to make it difficult to speed them up, with South Garner handling it well.
There's Dillard, excellent finish, little floater off of one leg, her first points. Inside the final minute of the first quarter. Quick ball movement, Harris off with a 3, offensive rebound, and a foul will send the Bulldogs to the free throw line. Looked like Massenberg got it.
Madeline Pass getting position here on the long rebound. They're getting up, skying for it, and getting the contact to get to the line.
So now one of the 3 freshmen on this Bulldog team heads to the free throw line. Madeline Pass. First to 2 from the ready to roll free throw line. If you're ready to roll, call Raleigh's garage door experts today. First point for Pass. 2 subs back on the floor for the Titans. 2 new Bulldogs onto the floor as well. And one more coming for Pass. 5'10" freshman for Southeast. Splits to 2. Rebound on the move to Darden. Crossover through the lane, lost her balance a bit, finds Haywood out of the corner. 3 for Haywood.
That was a great job driving in, penetrating, the defense collapsing down, then you kick it out.
10-point lead on the third 3 of this first quarter by the Titans. 25 seconds left in the first. Farrow in trouble, and foul on the baseline. First on Darden.
This ball game, South Garner, the goal is come out, be aggressive early on, get a lead, and force the Bulldogs to play from behind. Now Southeast Raleigh, they've been more composed here the second part of this first quarter, but trying to find their footing here and gain some momentum going into the second.
Final 15 seconds. They play it outside on the perimeter. Rhodes being harassed, and Rhodes, that was not touched. That's going to go out of bounds. Another forced turnover by the Titan pressure defense.
And that pressure is relentless. And for both teams, the foundation of their team is their defensive pressure. And now with each side going against each other, it's going to be who can protect the ball as the Titans try to get up one more shot here.
They have a couple of seconds to do it. Barnes short with a three, and that's the end of the first quarter. Titans have led throughout so far. They knocked down 3 threes in the opening quarter and trying to claim an undisputed conference title tonight. Up by 10 after 1 on Southeast.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
A new podcast where timing is everything. It's what separates those who follow culture from those who shape it.
Don't call it a comeback.
Vince Carter, Tracy McGrady, reunited, not on the court, but behind the mic.
We want to bring a lot of worlds together.
And it's just love, man.
Cousins with Vince Carter and Tracy McGrady.
Cousins, new episodes every Wednesday.
The ball, which we've discussed, but they got to start hitting some outside shots. You don't want this game getting away from you early on, especially on the road in a rivalry game like this. I mean, this game between both communities and schools means so much, and you can just tell when you're here in the arena, when we walked in, there's a different energy here tonight.
Yeah. Foul number 2 on Massenberg. Yeah, we came in, the men's JV game was taking place. It was intense. A lot of people in the gymnasium for, what, 4:30, 5 o'clock?
Yeah, there were 2 games before this game, and the men's game will be after this one, so big night here at South Garner.
Off of the air ball, Harris knocks it home for her first points. 19-11, South Garner. I mean, it is a terrific crowd for this critical conference women's game. The men's JV game will follow, and then the conference tournament next week. Down the lane, scooped it up, Darden misses, and a 5-on-4 for the moment for the Bulldogs. Up ahead comes Harris, steps left, fires a contested 3. Saved though by Trent. I like that pass, Hill can't finish. And more bodies on the deck. Titans come up with it with Darden. Riding the defender all the way to the hoop.
And the pace of this game really picking up on the defensive side. South Garner getting the ball, and Darden with her quickness gets all the way to the hoop. She's a really good ball handler.
Lead back to 10. That's a tough spot to pick up the basketball near midcourt. Nearly forced a turnover. Bulldogs get it back. I mean, they are really wrecked against this South Garner press. Driving layup is missed. Here come the Titans up the floor. Haywood slides a bounce down low. Faking is Crawford. She got fouled. And now we'll see a couple of the starters return for the Titans.
And here's the passing, the unselfish play. And South Garner trying to make that extra pass. And here's some substitutions coming in. And this is a deep Titans ball club. And we talked about all the college prospects. I mean, a lot of these players are young in this ball game, and in future years, they'll be heading off to college. Still plenty of time here in high school, but there are stars. But these are deep teams where they can go to their bench and the level of play stays the same.
And that's going to be a blocking foul on the Bulldogs as well. And that will be number 2 on Jada Rhodes. They called that a non-shooting foul on the floor. So Rhodes will check out with a couple of fouls. 21-11 South Garner. Crawford, good feed to the inside, and the break from the wing by Barnes.
Great cut there. Crawford seeing Barnes with that back cut. She hit her in stride.
Biggest lead of the game for South Garner, up a dozen. Out of the corner, a little strong for 3. Charging to the rebound is Dillard. Leads a 3-on-2. Through the lane, little off balance was Ballard. And rolls through the corner over the end line, and the official will send this the Bulldogs' way.
Yeah, this ball game's been physical. I mean, both sides going at it. Looked like there was a nudge there, but these refs letting them play through. And Harley Clark coming back in here at the top of this pressure. It's that diamond that we spoke about, and the wings are so active, but it all starts here at the top with number 10. Look at her wingspan, 6'3", and just hustling, trying to make it difficult.
It's one of the better press breaks we've seen from the Bulldogs, but now on that next pass, the foul line, another deflection by South Garner. Couldn't quite grab it. And the foul goes on to Maya Barnes, her first. (23-11) South Garner. 10-0 in conference play. Southeast is 10-1. And undeniably the top 2 teams in the league and 2 of the top big club women's programs in the state this year. Right now the Titans are rising above. This is a deep 3 missed by Harris. Rebound plucked out of there by Barnes. Barnes never stopped. This is the driving layup. There's a somersault backwards over the end line as the Bulldogs come the other way. That spinning layup is missed, and Taylor Moore cleans up the miss.
Yeah, the pace, up-tempo on each side, just not able to finish. Now South Garner looking like they're going to slow it down here. The Bulldogs settling in a man-to-man defense, so switching it up from their zone look.
Little 2-man game. They enter to Clark, poked away. Clark picks it up, delivers back out to Dillard. Long off glass for a 3. Barnes, the offensive rebound. One dribble to escape traffic, and Barnes shoots it home from inside the paint.
Well, the junior there finishing things off, and South Garner moving the ball quickly there to get a good shot.
We just haven't seen a lot of quality break in the press or in shot attempts by the Bulldogs. Nice one there on the finish by Rhodes, her first points.
And that was perfect there, just quick passes. That's how you've got to do it. Pass fakes, be assertive, and don't put the ball in harm's way.
And Dillard got fouled on the perimeter by Hill. That's 2 on Hill. Not a foul you want to take at that spot on the floor. She's a key performer here for the Bulldogs. So their freshman will sit with a couple of fouls. Titans by 12. Dillard takes a little double screen, throws to the open wing. Ballard, long, Moore the rebound, pulls it out of there, and she traveled. So 3:56 remaining first half. South Garner up by 12 as they try to run the table in conference play here on the final night of conference action. 25-13 South Garner.
Whatever the crime.
You never come to work thinking you're going to see something like that.
Whatever the motive.
If he couldn't have her,
no one was going to have her.
Whatever it takes, answers to mysteries will be revealed.
Question is, who's going to benefit by these two deaths?
I remember falling to the floor. He was finally caught.
On Dateline.
Weekdays at 11 on MyRDC 28.
Are you a weather nut? A bona fide weather enthusiast? I'm talking, do you have a rain gauge? Would you drop what you're doing to go storm chasing? Then the National Weather Desk is for you.
We saw rapid intensification.
That cold air really piling up to the north.
200 meteorologists explain, experience, and enlighten you about the weather.
This is Severe Weather Awareness Week.
Go beyond the forecast. Watch the National Weather Desk.
First of all, he's a crackhead.
Are you kidding me?
Is there an off button on you? Press it right now.
I want to say you look much more beautiful in person.
When did she become unattractive? After she crashed your car? You really gotta get your act together.
Weeknights at 6 on MyRDC 28.
My wife, Roxanne, had so much love to give. Dogs, kids, and Rob lives down the street.
Weekdays at 4 on MyRDC 28.
Coming up to the half of our ball game tonight, Tatum and Atkinson, Scholar Athlete of the Week, brought to you by Tatum and Atkinson. If you're injured in a car wreck, call the heavy hitters. We thank Tatum and Atkinson for their season-long partnership once again. High school hoops regular season are wrapping up tonight. Patrick Enos, Jay Sunhalter, and crew from Garner, North Carolina. Undefeated South Garner, 11-0 in league play. Southeast is 10-1. Their only loss came to South Garner a little less than a month ago. And South Garner out quickly, pressure on the defense, full court, trapping, and now in the half court forcing another turnover by the Bulldogs.
The story of this game has been the pressure, and that defensive effort has led to 25 points here midway through the second quarter, but that's what they're known for. Ashley Fuller wants that pressure turned up, and so far in this ballgame, they've done a great job.
That's 7 turnovers now by the Bulldogs. They force one of their own here, but that lead pass will not be tracked down. Bulldogs, again, just a little bit rushed. Just not in a game flow yet, and they're on the road down by 12.
And for them, we saw the turnover there they create. That's how they come back in this ballgame. They've got to turn up their pressure, get steals, but then you're right, on offense, they've got to find a way just to settle in, get into a rhythm, and then finish.
But you wouldn't know, as well as this offense runs for the Titans, the ball handlers, that 2 of their top ball handlers are freshmen. And they are not bashful either. They will penetrate. They will draw some contact. Good shooters from the outside. They need to respect that.
They're aggressive. They're confident. This is a South Garner team that combined overall has 40 Division I offers. And most of these players are underclassmen. Yeah, so that just shows you how talented they are. And the same thing with Southeast Raleigh. I mean, you know, we talked at the opening of the broadcast about how good these teams are, but just think about how good they're going to be the next couple years and throughout.
There's Ballard. Second offensive rebound for Taylor Moore. There's the freshman Dillard. Beautiful, floating, delicate finish.
Taylor Moore, very effective there on the boards, but keeping her eyes up and finding her open teammate in Mackenzie Dillard, darting towards the hoop.
14-point lead, and on the end line, stepped the Bulldog. Another turnover. That one by Wright Brown. Well, Jay, we're a couple of weeks away from starting the postseason and the chase for the state championship game. When you break down this Titans team, now Southeast, a lot of talent as well, but right now South Garner undefeated, trying to run the table in league play. You win championships with defense, with ball handlers, offensive rebound. I mean, they have all of the elements you're looking for when a team makes a really deep run, if not all the way.
They have everything, and they have that hunger, that aggressiveness, and that's their goal, is to win the state championship.
And they will not give up the easy layup in transition. Good work by Darden to get back there to disrupt Wright Brown. 2:16 for the half. South Garner up by 14 points. And that pass goes right through the fingertips of pass, gets it back, leaves it short, and there's Harley Clark. She lost it, carries off one defender, saves, and now some numbers here for the Titans. A rainbow shot a little bit off the side of the rim, but a foul. That was going to send The Titans right back at the free throw line with Ballard.
Well, in the hustle there, the scramble for the ball from Harley Clark, getting it, regaining possession, and then getting the ball up to Ballard as she gets fouled. That's those hustle plays, scrapping the loose balls when they go the way of one team. You know, you track that. South Garner getting it there and enables them to get to the free throw line.
The foul goes on Farrow. 28-13. One more from the ready to roll free throw line. Ready to roll. Call Raleigh's garage door experts today. And a reminder, stay tuned. The halftime report presented by Air Experts Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. First half highlights and a whole lot more. Air Experts. Schedule your tune-up today at airexperts.com. Moore had the ball spring out of her hands right to Dillard. And resetting over the Titans, plus 15. They re-enter to Moore. Couple of power dribbles, takes on 4 defenders. Got her own miss and scores. 4 offensive rebounds in the half by Taylor Moore would not be denied.
Well, and she loves to be physical down low, and this defense now turning up their pressure.
Well, they're going for the finish here at the end of the first half. Look at Moore swat one away right out of the palms of Farrow. And the Titans are trying to put this one down early, turning it over, and the bucket by Farrow.
A much needed bucket from Farrow coming back there. And this is an important close here to the second quarter going into the break for the Bulldogs. They've got to finish strong.
There's see the UNC points in the paint, 16-12 advantage for South Garner. Sponsored by the University of North Carolina. 30-15, final minute of the first half. Haywood being pressured. Clark. And I will look back to Ashley Fuller. And look at this calm presence for the freshman Dillard. Being chased and she got fouled out near midcourt. And again, you don't mind the Bulldogs being aggressive right there, but again, it's the second time we've seen a foul about 42 feet away from the rim.
And they're trying to get steals and trying to really sell out there, try to get the ball back. You just have to be careful, especially now when you're in the bonus. If you foul, it's sending your opponent to the line.
That's 4 different Bulldogs with 2 fouls in this first half. And Mackenzie Dillard, the 5'5" freshman, has had a terrific first half. Is handling the basketball, distributing it to the free throw line. 4 points in the holding for Dillard. Ballard and Clark come off. And one more free throw for South Garner. I mean, Jay, we've really yet to get to any point in the game where you feel like Southeast is really kind of grounded, confident, and connecting a couple of possessions together. It's been very jagged here in the first 16 minutes of this one. And on the sideline, another turnover. Wright Brown tried to tightrope it, lost her balance a bit, and another Bulldog turnover.
I think for Southeast Raleigh, you know, you're playing in a tough atmosphere, a huge crowd on the road with so much on the line against a great team. You know, they just haven't been able to settle in and get into a flow that they've played with throughout the year. So that's got to be the challenge at the halftime break, figuring out how to break through this pressure and then come out strong in the second half.
We'll see how Ashley Fuller wants to run this final 30 seconds. Are they going to hold for the last shot? Probably not. That ball pinballs back out to midcourt and stays with the Titans, though. 19 seconds left. South Garner has held the Bulldogs to just 6 points in the second quarter. Darden restarts down the edge of the lane, dumps it off to Moore. One big dribble, trying to find a lane to get that shot off. 2 attempts at it, now the kick out. 6 seconds left, the driving layup, rimming off. Moore got her fingers on it. 2 seconds, 1 second, and they won't get a 4th attempt. But a very impressive first 16 minutes by the undefeated South Garner Titans. Now 2 quarters away from an unblemished, undeniable conference championship. 31-15, South Garner leading Southeast Raleigh. Stay tuned. The Air Experts Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing High School Hoops halftime report begins next.
For 250 years, America has been built on bold ideas, strong communities, and stories that connect us all. From small towns to big cities, from back roads to bright lights, this is the story of who we are. In 2026, we celebrate 250 years of amazing America. And together, we honor the people, places, and possibilities that continue to shape our future. Stay with My RDC 28 as we celebrate amazing America.
In Cutler's Court,
we found out who's lying,
who's the daddy,
and who's getting paid.
My husband has a sex addiction.
She's beginning to become a pain in the ass.
No, that's not true.
You want to tell your side of the story?
They were dealing with witchcraft.
He doesn't trust me.
You slept with his friend.
It's reasons behind that.
Do you have questions about the paternity?
We got these polygraph results. Is there anything you need to tell before a lease test get revealed? Because it's getting good now.
How could you look your grandfather in the eyes after what you put him through?
I'm asking you a question. Sir, are you just making this up?
Do you understand when you've been caught in a lie? That's the look that you would get on a guy's face.
Hot bench.
You're watching the Air Experts High School Hoops Halftime Report. Air Experts Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Schedule your tune-up today at yourairexperts.com. And now it's time for the Tatum and Atkinson Scholar Athlete of the Week.
Tatum and Atkinson is proud to present the WRDC Sports High School Hoops Tatum and Atkinson Scholar Athlete of the Week. From Southeast Raleigh High School, the Tatum and Atkinson Scholar Athlete of the Week is Andrew Albritton. Andrew is a football letter winner, a member of National Honor Society, a member of National Technical Honor Society, a G.E. Watson Scholarship of Excellence recipient, and carries a 4.37 GPA. Andrew is ranked top 10 in his class, is an Eagle Scout, 4-year academic all-conference, and volunteers in his community distributing food, book bags, elementary school books, and toys for children's hospitals. From South Garner High School, the Tatum and Atkinson Scholar Athlete of the Week is Chloe Crawford. Chloe is basketball all-conference, an all-district nominee, is a member of National Honor Society, and carries a 4.2 GPA. Chloe is academic all-conference and volunteers for food drives and is an elementary school mentor.
This All-Star is now entered for a $3,000 scholarship at the end of the season. Congratulations to our Tatum and Atkinson Scholar Athlete of the Week.
Tatum and Atkinson, injured in a wreck? Call the heavy hitters.
We are all gathered here today, Your Honor.
This ain't no funeral, no you're not.
You can talk big.
You're trying to talk slick with me, and I'm a highly paid slick talker.
Hide behind the drama.
Oh, this is some messy gossip.
But you can't escape justice.
She just kept saying she was gonna get me.
What'd you do?
I hid.
Judge Mathis.
Where's Tommy? Tommy?
Oh.
Don't stop. Keep playing. Here we go. Here's the fun part.
Encouragement. Pass it on.
We have a warrant for your arrest.
So many innocent victims.
Call an ambulance.
He will never hurt you again.
Law and Order SVU.
On My RDC.
You're watching the Air Experts High School Hoops Halftime Report. Air Experts Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Schedule your tune-up today at yourairexperts.com.
The South Garner Titans are a half away from a perfect regular season and a conference championship, up 31-15 on Southeast Raleigh. We welcome you back to Garner, North Carolina. We'll get some highlights of our game a little bit later in halftime, but right now let's check out some of the greatest highlights from around the country from last week.
Here are the best high school hoops plays from across the country.
There it is. I thought he was going to get him one. Up high. Got to get up to get down. Avery Richardson with the rim rocker.
That one hurts. Oh, my. Let me just go ahead and pick up your waist and throw it right back in the trash can.
Yeah, that's pretty nice.
Under 10 seconds to go now. Zaber cut off. Sheely, floater, goes for Liam Sheely. He has 7 at the horn.
they may know that she's approaching career high. There's another one. The last 3 we just saw her make was the 8th of the game for Barber. That is a new individual green level gator record.
Here's Trey Green again, up the... Wow. Kite Paris from the Eiffel Tower.
Foster in NBA 3. Bang!
Oh, I tell you, man, this guy.
Real life mysteries.
He was finally caught.
Investigations.
It was by far the most important piece of evidence in the case.
And cold hard cases.
If he couldn't have her, no one was going to have her.
Put your detective skills to test with Dateline.
I never dreamed somebody could do this.
One way or another, that's an execution.
Absolutely.
Wow, this has got me shaking.
Weeknights at 8 on MyRDC 28.
AMP Sales and Marketing Solutions, we execute fully integrated campaigns that turns awareness into action, placing your brand exactly where your audience is. From hyper-targeted digital to the impact of streaming and audio, we connect brands to consumers with what they love in real time. Partnering with us means more reach, more precision, more results. Tap, scan, amplify. And let's make something extraordinary happen. AMP Sales and Marketing Solutions. One partner, endless possibilities.
My wife, Roxanne, had so much love to give. Oh, and everyone loved her back. Kids, dogs, her coworkers, her boss, Louis the mailman, Jimmy the gardener, Jose the meter reader, and Rob lives down the street. So much love to give, but none for me. See, that, my friend, is why we're going to divorce court.
Weekdays at 4 on MyRDC 28.
You're watching the Air Experts High School Hoops Halftime Report. Air Experts Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Schedule your tune-up today at yourairexperts.com.
Titans on top of the Bulldogs, 31-15. As Patrick Haynes and Jay Sohnholzer back to the Air Experts Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing halftime show. And Jay, let's get some first half highlights, as South Garner really has had command of this game since about the opening tip-off.
Yeah, fun first half here, and South Garner coming through really on defense to begin the ball game, but their outside shooting was efficient. They're making good decisions shooting the ball. It seemed like everybody was getting involved, getting touches. From the outside, they were hot early on beginning this ball game, Patrick.
8 different Titans scored in the first half, led by Barnes off the bench. He scored 8. And here are 2 of her 8 toward the end of that first half. Meanwhile, the defense has been pretty relentless. It's made things very, very hairy for the Bulldogs to try and get a clean shot off.
Yeah, they started to settle in there after that initial surge. They called the timeout, and things got going on offense, but that pressure was relentless for the Titans. For the Bulldogs, though, getting out on the run, breaking through that press is when they had success. When they had those long cross-court passes, when they made quick, assertive decisions, that's when they were able to attack downhill.
And the first half stats, looking at Southeast Raleigh column, 0 for 5 from 3 and 11 first half turnovers.
Yeah, I mean, a couple areas there they want to try to flip, but South Garner doing a great job, efficient shooting the ball, protecting the ball. For the Bulldogs, they need to make sure they try to force more turnovers on their side to try to turn things around. They've got to box out on the boards. They want to hit some shots from the outside.
The Titans plus 12 on the glass. 16 minutes away from an outright conference championship. South Garner up 16.
This is your CW22 and MyRDC 28 community calendar. The Brilliance of Resilience is the theme of this year's Future of Black History Month program on February 21st from 1 to 3 p.m. at Academy Pavilion at downtown Cary Park. This program is free and open to the public. For more information, visit downtowncarypark.com. The Durham Craft Market will take place on Saturday, February 21st from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. at Durham Central Park. Creations from local artisans, from jewelry to apparel and accessories and art, will be on display and for purchase. For more information, visit durhamcraftmarket.com. Please send your announcements at least 2 weeks in advance to email rkeith@sbgtv.com.
She's fair.
Untrue, Your Honor.
What, you're going to have your turn.
She's inquisitive.
What in the world led to this young lady finding you in this compromising situation?
She's very frank.
You should never start anything you're not prepared to finish.
Compassionate.
I see a family that still loves each other, and I'm glad to see it.
And firm.
The only thing that matters in this particular courtroom, sir, is how I see it.
Watch Equal Justice with Judge Ebony K. Williams.
Weekdays at 2:30 on MyRDC 28.
Ready to begin the third quarter. South Garner 16 minutes away now from an undisputed perfect conference campaign. Looking for their 12th straight win to cap it off, up by 16. All right, Jay, third quarter begins. Titans basketball. Bulldogs need to stop the penetration, get back on the glass. They're out-rebounded by 12 in the first half.
Yeah, a couple different areas they need to address. I think the main simple thing is their defense has to really step up here. If their defense steps up, it's going to limit the good opportunities South Garner saw there in the first half. They'll get turnovers. That hopefully that'll loosen up their offense if they can get out on the run.
Well, look at Barnes shifting, getting in there, switching hands, and then getting her hands on that tie-up. It'll be a jump ball. Possession arrow belongs to Southeast. Barnes, a quality first half. 8 points off the bench to lead all scorers. Well, the Bulldogs need a number of positive things to turn around. Rebounding, control the turnovers, but you know their kind of disposition on the floor doesn't exude a lot of confidence and optimism right now, just based on how the first half has gone.
Now, this is a team with no seniors, so a lot of young players. We discussed how both teams very young, but the Bulldogs no seniors, and they're going to have a large comeback here. They've got to get some of those shots from the outside to start the fall.
Well, there's Dillard burying a three out of the corner, but big credit to Taylor Moore. Deliver that exit pass with 3 defenders around her, and it's a 19-point spread. Trent cuts into it a tad.
A good job there breaking the pressure, but for the Bulldogs, you can't trade buckets. You've got to find a way in here with your pressure to try to turn the Titans over. But with their young guards, Patrick, they protected the ball really well.
Dillard, the drive. There's Barnes off the wing. A little short, follows her own miss. Nobody stopped her. Shot, though, was blocked out of her hand. The Bulldogs will clear. They have some numbers now.
Good defense from Jada Rhodes coming over.
This is Harris. Keeps the dribble alive. Rhodes on the baseline, double team. And loses the basketball out of bounds. Waiting for the Bulldogs. You're looking for somebody to provide the spark. Somebody to get out there and lead this Bulldogs team. And again, very young, but right now they are not counterpunching at all against the Titans yet.
And they've got to find a way to do it now, Patrick. You don't want to be going into the fourth quarter with a huge deficit here on the road. You've got to turn it on right now.
Ballard a little short with that three. Good job getting to that rebound by Rhodes. And here come the Bulldogs. They need to string some things together here. Trent throws down low. Shot blocked on the way up. Right back to pass, but Moore takes it away and starts to break now for the Titans. Here's the freshman Dillard from the foul line. A good little move to free up some space for that shot. Bulldogs back up the floor. Trent steps out of a double. Long three by Harris. And that is going to go off the fingertips of Amaya Rhodes. And that kind of night for Southeast. (34-17) Titans.
And for both teams, you have the weekend to rest, and the conference tournament starts next week, Patrick. So the regular season is going to finish up here, and this is a big one, but they'll have to regroup next week, regardless of the result of this game. A whole new season starting Tuesday.
Good defense on the inside by Wright. Brown nearly timed that one up, but denied the attempt. Trent goes down on the deck to save it, and Harris now on the run. A little hesitation, good pass to the opposite block for pass. That's what the Bulldogs needed. First field goal for pass, and a timeout taken by South Garner. There is some emotion now for Southeast Raleigh. 34-19, South Garner. Early stages, quarter number 3.
The truth hurts. You're full of it from all angles.
But lies? Once you find yourself in a hole, stop digging.
Hurt even more. You look like a deer in the headlights.
Judge Domingo, Judge Levy, Judge Acker, from creator Judge Judy Shineland.
You scammed him.
Judge Levy?
No, that was perfect. I got no questions.
Really?
I got no questions.
This is Tribunal Justice.
I think I finally found.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, Mason. Hey, Mason.
Got a new house. It's looking pretty cool so far.
A place that I call home.
I'm teaching Louise how to cook some lasagna.
It only takes a spark to make a fire start.
The Dutch. Thank you.
Study, please.
I think I finally found a place to make my own. A place that I call home. This place that I call home.
Nicole Sampson, the Southeast Raleigh Bulldogs. They cleaved into the halftime deficit by 1. It was interesting to kind of watch their huddle dynamics during that timeout as the Titans bring it up. A very calm assistant coaches along with Nicole talking things over. Players were talking with one another. And, again, no look of panic in that Bulldog, on that Bulldog bench during that timeout, but they need to string things along here. Then it goes to Taylor Moore. To the line goes Moore, fouled on the interior.
Good things are happening for the Titans when they give the ball to Moore on the block, and she can finish at the rim. Patrick, she is a skilled passer. Many times we've seen throughout this game when double teams come over, she's been able to dish it to the outside, but she's an impressive player. And Coach Fuller, she's coached Taylor Moore since she's in the 4th grade. Her and Kamaya Barnes, and these are players that have long relationships with each other, their coaches, and there's Ashley Fuller, an absolute star here at South Garner, one of the best coaches in the state, and what she's done, bringing success to this program.
Moore misses a pair. Bulldog basketball. Harris jumps one to the corner. And a foul near the baseline. Looks like Kamaya Barnes. That will be the second on Barnes. That long lineage with the coaches and the players, it just builds up a lot of trust.
Yeah, oh yeah, and I mean,
you hear the same kind of reinforcing voice over time.
Well, and there's relationships, and this isn't just high school relations. I mean, they've known these players since they're younger. These girls have played together. There's traditions at these programs. So what these coaches have built here in these communities and with these players, it's special, and that's why year in, year out, they're two of the best programs in the state.
Well, look at those handles shown by Dillard, but then threw it away, looking for more just outside the paint. Bulldogs the other way. Oh, huge hustle by Dillard to knock that one out of bounds. The good handles at one end, then turn it over. But see the sprints 80 feet down the floor to disrupt a fast break chance. Again, just a freshman. Big motor. Back on the floor is Crawford. So this is about as big as the Titans will get, and Crawford interferes with that shot attempt. They have both Crawford and Clark on the floor for the first time tonight. This is Darden all alone on the baseline.
Great job breaking the pressure, and then Darden with that mid-range jumper, just being efficient, not going too far into the teeth of the defense, pulling up.
Look at Crawford. She's going to be playing right now at the 4 spot with Clark on the inside. She'll rip that rebound away. And pressure again. Dillard behind the back. And lost it again to try to get that pass through some tight quarters to Ballard. Turnover to the Bulldogs. 36-19 South Garner.
For Southeast Raleigh coming out here, their outside shot hasn't fallen at the length that it usually does, and they've got to find a way. Just keep being aggressive, be confident shooting the ball from the outside. Hope they'll start to fall, because this pressure is forcing quick passes, but if you can hit that outside shot, it's going to force South Garner to reassess how they're going to play you.
Touch foul there on Darden, her second. But still both Clark and Crawford on the floor for South Garner. Clark at 6'3", Crawford at 6'4". A turnover by the 5'5" Dillard. looking for room, snakes down the lane. Oh, beautiful, delicate finish with the scoop left. 9 for the freshman Dillard, and it's a 19-point Titans lead.
And she's adjusted to the high school game so quickly, and quiet leader here, and really showing out well tonight.
Pass, gets her own offensive rebound. There's a foul, I believe, on Crawford. We're going to charge Clark instead, her first. So a couple of free throws for the Bulldogs from the ready-to-roll free throw line. Ready to roll and call Raleigh's garage door experts today.
And Madeline Pass here. She's only a freshman, and huge upside to her game. She's solid in the post. She's a rebounder, and showing her touch here on the free throw line. But, you know, again, we've talked about these young players. I mean, there's a reason there's so many offers for all these players, and as freshmen, they have offers because you can just see the talent at such a young age.
4 points for Pass off of the bench tonight. 38-20. Titans lead. They were up by 16 at halftime. 18 now. Dillard gets a rest on the bench for South Garner. Darden showing some moves. Locates Barnes for 3. Way long. Crawford the offensive rebound. Harassed. On the deck, 4 bodies are down, and a jump ball. Arrow to the Bulldogs.
They're getting good hustle. Players on the floor trying to gain possession. Southeast Raleigh is going to get a timeout here to try to close out the third quarter.
Nicole Sampson calls the timeout. 2:58 left in the third quarter. South Garner by 18, 38-20. We talk a lot about halftime adjustments, but coaching staff, especially when you're down by double digits as the Bulldogs have been here in this game. What have you seen as far as adjustments or attempts made by Nicole Sampson to get her team smoothed out and back in?
They're spreading the floor more on the offensive end to try to break through that pressure. But for South Garner, when you have that big lead that they had in the first half, and then now just maintaining it, playing that really good defense, it's going to be difficult for the Bulldogs here. They've got to start hitting threes in this game to get a comeback here into the fourth quarter. But Ashley Fuller right now, her team's defense, the intensity that playing with, and that length with their size, is making it difficult for the Bulldogs to break through. But also on the boards, we've seen that really be to their advantage, that size, getting extra opportunities on the offensive end and then cleaning up on the defensive side.
And for Nicole Sampson, certainly intent behind calling this time out of this stage. You're down by 18 points, inside 3 minutes in the third. You just got the ball to tie up. I mean, I'm certain that she's calling a play to break the press and get their best kind of zone offense on the floor here. They're running out of time to get back into this ball game. Trent, who's been very quiet tonight, flips it over the end line, looking for Wright Brown.
Well, South Garner really doing a nice job funneling the Bulldogs to a corner where they can use a sideline or the corner there as a defender, and the spacing wasn't there, just making it difficult, and that's what resulted in the turnover.
Now the Bulldogs go full court. Darden breaks it, and breaks the knees of Trent on the drive, and a foul. If that's on Trent, that would be her third. Well, there was no drop-off in terms of ball handling skills from Dillard to Taylor Darden. Watch this. Darden, just a sophomore. Jay, I get the sense we're going to be talking about this South Garner Titans team for a few years.
It's pretty special. I mean, watching them play and just how connected they are. And when you look at these young players, many times, people talk about experience. Well, that's where you start to feel comfortable when you're a junior or senior. Well, don't they look like they're comfortable in experience as freshmen and sophomores?
You can tell that the difference between freshmen and sophomores who don't get many minutes and the lack of experience. You can tell these young freshmen, sophomore on both teams, they're on the AAU circuit. They're playing for really high quality teams.
And they play in the Nike EYBL league, and they are playing all year round. And Ashley Fuller's team, they also did cross country to get in shape mentally strong. So this is a group, and for both teams, groups that this is year-long activity and bond that they develop throughout the offseason, during the season. But that's what makes teams really good, and that's what makes you great in state championship levels, all that extra work together in the offseason.
We get another timeout on the floor. Still 38-20, the lead for South Garner. We'll take one more look at this drive. And boy, watch the right shoulder here get bent back by Kamaya Barnes right there. Luckily, that shoulder is all right.
Good job by Southeast Raleigh hustling. But, you know, the young players for South Garner, they only have one senior. Southeast Raleigh has no senior. So, I mean, I know the Bulldogs trying to get back in this game, but this is a group that's had an excellent season, no seniors, and a lot of really good freshmen as well. There's Dariah Harris, number 3. Jada Rhodes, she's a junior, but these teams have a bright future. But I'll tell you, the future is now, and in the 7A, each side is going to have a chance to make a deep run and win the state championship, the way I see it.
And that early season schedule put together by Ashley Fuller for the Titans. I mean, they took a couple of losses. Matter of fact, they took 5 losses out of their first 12 games of the year, but they were playing the supreme talent from the west side of North Carolina and even some top teams from outside the state.
They play the She Got Game Classic up in Washington, D.C., down in the Cruel Classic in Florida, and then the John Wall Tournament. So you face tough competition to better your team, to test yourself. And sometimes early on the season it's not fair when you have young players going against great teams, but there's a reason behind it. And the reason is to build yourself through adversity, through toughness, make you better and get you ready for February and March basketball.
Yeah, exactly right. I mean, you normally don't see coaches do this with an inexperienced team knowing that they're going to be playing a lot of young players, but these are different young players. Again, they've been playing at such a high level against top players around the Southeast and around the country for several years. So they can handle it. It's starting to pay some serious dividends. Here's Darton, the sophomore, into the corner. Dillard, a little long. Offensive rebound, and Crawford can't stick it, but she got fouled again. That will go on Wright Brown, number 3.
Here's the long shot, and they're just trying to read it on the backside. Crawford has been all over the offensive glass. She is physical down in the paint area. She's an energizer for this team and just really provides a spark on the offensive glass, but also on defense. Her along with Harley Clark really at the top of that pressure. I mean, with their length, it's going to create problems for everybody they face.
One more coming from the ready-to-roll free throw line. Raleigh's garage door experts today. One more for Crawford. As a younger sister on this team, we saw Khalees play for a couple minutes in the first half. So Khalees makes the free throw. Chloe, older sister on the squad, points to paint. Now 18-14 for South Garner. The lead is 19 points. Points to paint brought to you by the University of North Carolina. Twisting, stripped, but right in the hands of Trent.
Good job from Trent there, finishing in the paint area, and Southeast Raleigh getting through that pressure. And now here inside of a minute in the third quarter, they need to stop on defense.
Points so hard for the Bulldogs to come by here. Euro stepping down the lane, that will drop from Taylor Darden. 41-22, Titans by 19. Bulldogs have not been able to carve into the deficit. Trent gets fouled hard by Taylor Moore.
And Trent, the 5'9" junior, being aggressive, going into the body of Moore, trying to block this shot. There she is, beats the first defender, and then tries to slide past Moore. That's what you've got to do, just attack, go downhill. She'll get to the line.
So Trent double figures, 10 points, averaging 11 this year. And we'll get one more. And Jay, we've seen enough women's and men's game over the last, I don't know, decade plus in the area. Sometimes with these outstanding teams, there's one superstar player and a bunch of other kind of supporting cast members. Not the case with this South Garner team. There's nobody that really sticks out. They're all excellent players. You're not relying on somebody to score 22 points a game and the rest of the team to score the other, 18 or 20.
And they've got numerous players that are right around the double-figure mark, but there's balance, there's unselfishness, and there's a togetherness where they know, hey, listen, we're all going to share in this success for the greater good of the team.
That one is banked in by Dillard. 11 points for Dillard. 10 seconds to play in the third. The lead gets to 20 for the first time for the Titans. 5 seconds left for Rhodes. The mid-range backed home.
Well, nice job from Rhodes there, breaking through the 5'10" junior, getting a bucket there as we head into the fourth quarter.
So South Garner is now 8 minutes away. It's a foregone conclusion. We're going to have an undefeated regular season championship of the conference. The lead is 18 heading to the fourth.
Let's jump right in.
10-4. Start me another unit. 74 in a 40 zone. We ain't gonna tolerate that.
Ride PD presents.
Are you a weather nut? A bona fide weather enthusiast? I'm talking, do you have a rain gauge? Would you drop what you're doing to go storm chasing? Then the National Weather Desk is for you.
We saw rapid intensification.
That cold air really piling up to the north.
200 meteorologists explain, experience, and enlighten you about the weather.
This is Severe Weather Awareness Week.
Go beyond the forecast. Watch the National Weather Desk.
When you can't do it all, do what you can. Compassion for others. Pass it on. A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.
Back inside South Garner High School, 18-point lead for the Titans. On their way to an undefeated regular season conference championship. Patrick Kinsey, Sunhalter back with you as the fourth quarter gets underway. High quality effort tonight by the Titans. Great balance, excellent pressure, and some young players knocking down some shots. Darden's had a nice game. Long rebound now. Here's Trent, stripped from the backside by the chasing Haywood, and a traveling violation goes against South Garner. South Garner High School opened up 8 years ago, back in 2018, and already developing a serious athletic identity. There are a couple of banners already on the wall over the end zone to our right for conference championships. And this women's basketball team has a real chance to go very deep. Final Four, maybe a state championship appearance. We're not that far away.
We're close. I mean, you look at a couple banners there. Basketball, tennis, new school here in South Garner, but the rivalry is already prevalent between these two. And the meaning of this game, but also just in all sports, the proximity of these two schools, the competitive fire of the programs all throughout each school, and just what the game means whenever they play each other.
43-25. Here's a freshman Dillard. Jumps one into Taylor Moore, and Moore got a held. And if that's on Trent, that'll be her fourth.
Isaiah Trent, we highlighted her in the open of the broadcast, a double-digit scorer on the year. She's played well tonight on offense and on defense. They're trying to get a steal from Taylor Moore.
It looked like Taylor Moore wanted to shoot up that three, a little indecision, and travels with the basketball. And right in front of her head coach, Ashley Fuller. There's a strip reaching in. Crawford to disrupt it. Darting the steal down the lane. And there's Crawford, the putback, a little bit shorts. Harris the other way for the Bulldogs. Boy, look at it again, the chase down from back behind the play. We've seen that 3 or 4 times in this game. This time it was Darden that quickly got down the floor, and a timeout taken by the Bulldogs. And we will keep it here. 43-25 South Garner.
Nicole Sampson calling a timeout there with that defensive pressure on her team, and good use there to try to save that turnover from happening, bring her team over to the sideline and regroup.
All right, Jay, one of the great assets that we have an opportunity to experience every week when we go on the road for high school football and now high school hoops. All different gymnasiums, all different fields. They have different vibes, different kind of accoutrements that really make their identity special. That's the case here at South Garner.
I know, and I think we dress up tonight as them. They're the broadcasters. We dress up in our suit because it's broadcasting night here tonight. In many schools, they have different themes or mottos.
And a DJ on site on the floor in the corner. Love it.
I'll tell you, I walked in tonight, though, and saw the kids wearing a suit. We all took a picture together, and I asked them where they shop. They were looking good.
Bulldogs with the basketball. The pressure is still unrelenting. Into the corner. And that three is short, and they rebound, deflects over the glass. 4-0 had a wide open look. Haven't seen a lot of clean looks from the perimeter tonight for the Bulldogs. It was an 18-point Titan win over Southeast a little less than a month ago, and the spread is 18 again tonight.
For these teams, we have the matchup tonight. Conference tournament next week. I discussed, I wouldn't be surprised if they face off again, as that's another nice move.
Boy, how beautiful was that? The rip away, the strength by Crawford, then going to the offhand.
But they could face each other next week, and then with their RPIs, they're both going to be top seeds in the 7A Eastern Regional, in the 7A East region, and they can play again. I mean, in a couple weeks here. So these teams know each other very well, but this may not be the last matchup of the season.
Lead to 20 for South Garner. Holding this Bulldogs team so far to only 25 points. That's an accomplishment. Off the dribble, Darden the pull-up. Long rebound to Hill, and then taken away by Darden. And Crawford gets it out of trouble. Inside 6 minutes for the fourth. Let's look how poised Dillard is. The take again, a little strong off the heel. And getting back behind the defense. Harris takes a terrific pass, but blows the layup. Moore takes on two defenders. Didn't matter. Taylor Moore, power move on the post.
She is so good, has a nice touch there when she puts the ball up, and those quick feet allows her to move around the defense and just operate that low block.
And there's a clean takeaway by Dillard. 3-on-1. Hits Crawford on the wing. And Crawford looked like she may have dribbled it off of her foot, but it's out of bounds to Southeast. She was thinking highlight reel on the approach, and now she'd like a moment to herself. And both coaches now beginning to clear the bench. Trent and company head off for Southeast. 47-25. This is the end of the regular season for both of these teams. South Garner on its way to a 12th consecutive win. That shot was just challenged by Crawford on the inside. She goes down to save the rebound. And again, the Titans looking to push the tempo up the floor. Ballard will enter. Clark was held. Only the second foul on Harris. Again, this Southeast team has only lost 4 games this year. Lost a couple in the non-conference back in December. Beaten by South Mecklenburg. That was in early January, and then the South Garner loss. That's been it. They're 18-4 coming in, but they have met their match for a second straight time against this South Garner team. Right now, it's just a better ball club.
This is the most connected team that Nicole Sampson has had in her time at Southeast Raleigh. And she just praised this team and how well they play together and how close they are, and a tough opponent tonight and just in this matchup. But this is a group that has had a special year, of reeled off so many wins and really grown together.
Speaking of growing, attendance in this building is growing now toward the end of the women's game, with the men's varsity game to follow. But again, they had a terrific crowd for the men's JV game which preceded ours. Jump in the passing lane. Ballard couldn't get it. Clark can't finish either. The effort is still there by the Bulldogs. A great defensive effort by Wright Brown, and the Bulldogs promptly give it right back.
You're right about the crowd. I just feel people kind of coming into the arena here, and we used to have some space around us now. It's closing in. When I go down on the floor for the trophy presentation, I'm going to have to be kind of working my way through the aisles to make it down.
Clark fumbled the entry pass, got it back. Moore tips it in the air, keeps it alive. Great job by Taylor Moore. She's doing a lot of the blue-collar things.
A nice job not getting that offensive foul, reaching over the back, just tipping it so she could regain possession and sending it out to her teammate.
And now the Titans will purchase some time here. Under 3.5 for regulation. That was swatted out of bounds by Harris. And that will take us to our final media timeout. 3:25 remains. That's all that stands between South Garner and an undefeated regular season championship. They're about to finish 12-0 in the top seed in their conference tournament next week. The lead is 22 for South Garner.
My wife Roxanne had so much love to give. Oh, and everyone loved her back. Kids, dogs, her coworkers, her boss, Louis the mailman, Jimmy the gardener, Jose the meter reader, and Rob lives down the street. So much love to give, but none for me. See, that, my friend, is why we're going to divorce court.
Weekdays at 4 on MyRDC 28.
For every generation, it has started with the call to serve. Discovering the purpose and the belonging earned with the title. Learning to dig deep and push through adversity together. Defending our nation and its people. It is a life of great worth and reward. But Marines are never really finished serving. Their commitment comes full circle, visible in communities across our country. This is Semper Fidelis, always faithful, always Marine, marking a path for the next generation.
There are the young broadcasters at South Garner on this senior night. Behind that ESPN South banner, the DJ in the corner, the band is up in the stands, percussion section owning that timeout. 3:19 to play in the fourth. South Garner enjoying this one on senior night, up 22.
For South Garner to go through this conference, which is really talented indeed, Patrick, with an undefeated regular season mark. That's something they wanted. That was a goal of theirs, to finish as a conference champion and do it undefeated, finishing off this ball game. They're going to look back on this and be really proud of what they were able to accomplish. Still more to go, but this is the way they wanted to close it out.
Again, they really have not had a close game since right around Christmas. I mean, they have just rammed their way straight through the conference contenders. You know, Cleveland and Garner are both 6-5 going into the final game of action in the league tonight. Southeast Raleigh, again, a game behind South Garner, but for Ashley Fuller's Titans, I mean, they have not really met any kind of resistance over the last 6 weeks. That certainly will change once you get into the postseason. Whether or not it happens next week is still anybody's guess, but certainly once you get into the second, third, fourth rounds of the NCHSAA bracket. Bucket for Barnes. But all the pieces are in play for the Titans. Again, that defense has been terrific. Jumping in front of that pass is Barnes. Goes tumbling into the scorer's table, saves it. And at the other end, the miss from short range by Janiyah Massenberg. 2.5 to play. Clark grabs the miss, and now watch the 6'3" sophomore dribble down the floor. There's a crossover.
She's got great handles. To be 6'3", And as a sophomore, be able to bring the ball up the court, that is one of the many reasons why she's a high major Division I prospect.
And Moore, a little too strong from the block. 2 minutes for regulation. Harris, the give off. Again, open shots have been at a scarcity tonight for the Bulldogs. That one is forced long. Right Brown the rebound. Pass, nearly traveled. Deep three, Harris. Harris knocks in a Nelson, and Nelson chiropractic three. Working overtime to make a difference in our community. Nelson and Nelson chiropractic.
And Harris, one of the top sophomores in the state now here on defense, getting a steal after knocking in that three-pointer.
And she wants another 24-footer. Yeah, how about that?
There it is.
Dariah Harris, back-to-back threes. Timeout Bulldogs. 1:21 left. She's been working hard. Haven't seen a lot of smiles on her face, but so focused on this one. That is as outstanding of a 40-second sequence as you'll see from Harris.
Well, back-to-back, made three-pointer, 6 points here in a matter of seconds, and she can light it up quick. Talked in the open, she's NBA range. I mean, that was well beyond the three-point line, and here sets up. The defense was there. They closed out on her arm outstretched. It doesn't matter. She had big three-pointers in the ball game we had last year with Southeast Raleigh and South Garner, and she was a freshman then, and just continued to develop this season, and she's got a bright future.
Three-pointer, steal, down the floor, pull-up three-pointer. That's what we've seen from Harris, just a sophomore. Minute 21 to go, 49-31 South Garner. They beat this Southeast Raleigh team 51-33 about a month ago, so we're almost identical numbers with a minute and change left. Titans trying to get it in. So again, the conference tournament begins early next week. South Garner will be the undefeated regular season champ and the top seed. Southeast Raleigh will be the 2. So they'll be on opposite sides of the bracket as Clark on the baseline misses. And we'll see if they keep it in the hot hands of Harris. 2 defenders go after. Look at her dribble away. Leans in, thought she might have gotten a hit. The shot got blocked. They find her again. Steps left, she fires another one off. With 48 seconds left, the Bulldogs have it again. Edge of the lane, jumper crawls good from Wright Brown. Her first points. 49-33 with 35 seconds left. And there's the layup by Darden. And Jay, we are right at the exact score these teams played a month ago.
It's right there, and these teams, as Southeast knocks in another one, Neil Wright Brown, the sophomore, but tell you what, a lot of respect between these programs. This is a huge rivalry. Each side wanted this one, and South Garner is going to win here on their home floor.
Final look at the UNC points in the paint, 26-20. The edge for South Garner, presented by the University of North Carolina. The undefeated regular season is official for the South Garner Titans. Ashley Fuller's Titans run the table, and they will be the top seed in the conference tournament, and they will be a force to reckon with when the bracket comes out for the 7A state championship in a couple of weeks' time. Final, South Garner 51, Southeast Raleigh 35.
Yeah, this was a fun matchup, highly competitive. It means a lot to these communities, and Southeast Raleigh will be back here. Conference tournament starting up, and they'll have a response from this one. And for South Garner, what a way to finish off the regular season conference champs here on their home floor. They've got a bright future in the playoffs.
They will add another number to the Women's Basketball Conference Championship. Ashley Fuller's Titans, undefeated, close out the regular season with another win over Southeast Raleigh. 51-35, trophy presentation with Jay and the Titans.
You haven't seen conflict like you're going to see in about 2 seconds. What kind of dog do you have?
It's a border collie.
He's a liar. He's nothing but a big old liar.
I've never seen a pit bull look more like a pit bull. You have insurance. You're going to be able to prove it to me today, right?
I don't have it with me.
You don't have it at all. You want me to believe that? You were a bold-faced perjurer. What really happened? It's about a woman, ain't it? It's like I'm clairvoyant.
STEM is the discipline of hard numbers, precise, no margin for error. Dare to forget that. Dare to have fun with it. Get weird with it. Dare to get messy, or just mess it up. Dare to program something internet-breaking, record-breaking. Dare to blow their minds. Dare to try. Dare to fail. Dare to keep daring. Dare to learn the difference between organic, sedimentary, and non-foliated metamorphic rock. Get outside, find those rocks. Dare to be homeroom famous, a high school fable. Dare to send those old STEM theories flying past the neighbor's house into outer space. And for the love of STEM, dare bigger. Dare to code, dare to invent, dare to explore, dare to STEM. Check out She Can STEM to get started.
A new podcast where timing is everything. It's what separates those who follow culture from those who shape it.
Don't call it a comeback.
Vince Carter, Tracy McGrady, reunited, not on the court, but behind the mic.
We want to bring a lot of worlds together.
And it's just love, man. Cousins with Vince Carter and Tracy McGrady.
Cousins, new episodes every Wednesday.
You want atmosphere, you got atmosphere here at South Garner. They win their first ever outright regular season conference title, beating Southeast Raleigh tonight 51-35 and finishing 12-0. You want atmosphere, you want vibe, you want life? Let's go to Jay with Ashley Fuller and the conference champion Titans.
All right, Coach. This was about as big as it gets, this win was. I think we're going to have a fun celebration here. But conference champions, what did it mean to get this win here on your home floor?
It honestly means everything. We worked so hard. We started back in the preseason. We set goals, and we've done everything that we needed to do to achieve those goals, and this was definitely one of those goals, to be regular season conference champs and then go on to a state run, a good playoff run.
And I know this team means so much to you, and there's so much that goes on behind the scenes between you and your team in the offseason and the development. What does this mean to you just to be their coach?
It means everything. It gives me an opportunity to be able to pour back into young ladies. It's a passion of mine. It's something that I've always wanted to do, and fortunately I get to do it through the sport of basketball.
And we were impressed with your team tonight. That's a great Southeast Raleigh team, and what you were able to do, especially defensively early on, to take control. And then all of your young players, they're so aggressive. Just talk about this game and what you're able to do.
So we know that they have some scorers. They have girls that like to get downhill. They have Dariah Harris, who can shoot the long distance three. So we just had to pressure up and make it hard for them to run the things that they wanted to run and execute their offense.
And we were talking during the break here about how good your team is, and I know the goal is the state championship and still have the conference tournament next week, and still have more games here in the season. But I look up, see this crowd, see the support that you have here. I know it mean a lot to you to make a deep playoff run, but what does this all mean to you to have this team, the support, with an opportunity to go far?
It means the world to me. We chose 10 girls. We knew it was going to be tight. We've dealt with injury, all types of adversity throughout the year. We have our one and only senior who went out earlier in the year, last time that we played Southeast Raleigh, with the season-ending knee injury. So we've dealt with some adversity, and we've been able to overcome every single time, and that means the most to me because that shows the level of maturity that my very young, feisty group has. We definitely want to make a very long run in the playoffs, and we're just going to keep working and take it one game at a time, day by day, and keep building brick by brick.
Coach, you deserve this trophy. I think this is going to be a good celebration as soon as I hand it off to you, but this was an awesome game for you. Congratulations and best of luck the rest of the year.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Jay.
Undefeated South Garner Titans for the first time regular season outright conference champions, and they are just getting started. 51-35 to win over Southeast Raleigh. Congrats to Ashley Fuller and the South Garner Titans. Well, we all like to take a minute to Thank the great folks at Riddle & Riddle who make all these games possible for all of our viewers at home. We would also like to thank all of our other great supporters for their contributions on high school hoops on WRDC. They are the University of North Carolina, Air Experts Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, Ready to Roll Garage Doors, Nelson & Nelson Chiropractic in Tatum and Atkinson. We'd also like to thank tonight's participating high schools and their administrators for their continued support, Southeast Raleigh and right here at South Garner. We thank you for joining us this year for High School Hoops. We hope you've enjoyed it. We're not done yet either. You can watch the NCHSAA Basketball Championships right here on WRDC from March 11th through the 14th. Will the Titans be here? They believe. We'll find out. See you in a few weeks for the state championships. For Jason Halter and our entire great crew, Patrick Keene is saying thank you for watching High School Hoops. Good night from Garner.